Please remain standing for the national anthem. You may be seated. My name is Ellen Jordan. I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Vice President for Academic Affairs for the University of Mount Olive. We are gathered here this afternoon to mark the start of a new venture for our newest graduates. Just as families come together to celebrate accomplishments of their family members, we as an academic family come together to celebrate the accomplishments of these graduates. Among our graduates are those who have served in the military. They are wearing cords of red, white, and blue. Will those wearing those cords please stand? We thank you for your service. This is a very special graduation. Today, the University of Mount Olive will confer the first graduate degrees in the history of the university. These students have earned a Master of Business Administration degree through the Robert L. Tillman School of Business. I now invite Dr. Eugene Sumner, Chair of the Academic Affairs Committee of the Board, to bid you welcome from the University of Mount Olive Board of Trustees and to offer the invocation.
Welcome. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and students of the University of Mount Olive, I welcome you to the University Winter Graduation Ceremony. This is indeed a day of celebration. We celebrate and honor you, our graduates, for your dreams, your persistence, and completion of your educational goal of completing your program. We also celebrate the support of your spouses, your children, your parents, and your friends who have supported you in this endeavor. Indeed, the receipt of your degrees today is the achievement of a life-changing process. Also, while celebrating the individual achievements of our graduates, we are celebrating a milestone in the history of the University of Mount Olive. Today, our university is awarding its first graduate degrees. As our 11 graduates receive the MBA degree, we are witnessing a watershed event in the life of Mount Olive College and now the University of Mount Olive. To everyone, I welcome you and invite you to celebrate with us this significant milestone in the life of our university. This event is symbolic of the positive presence of the original Free Will Baptist Church in the religious, cultural, social, and economic life of North Carolina. We enter this event of graduation with humility and pride for the opportunity to be part of this educational ministry. I welcome you and thank you for coming today to celebrate the achievements of our graduates, and this milestone in the life of our university. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, bless us with the presence of your Spirit as we celebrate the achievements of our graduates and this milestone in the life of our university. We are grateful for the gifts of learning and personal growth and for the contributions of the University of Mount Olive to the spiritual, personal, and professional growth of so many people. As we celebrate the birth of Jesus of Nazareth during this holiday season, may we all be inspired to direct our lives towards promoting peace, justice, and understanding in our world. We thank you for our graduates and for our opportunity as a community of faith and learning to be a part of their spiritual, professional, and personal growth. May your Spirit be with them as they enter the next phase of their lives. Amen.
Allow me to introduce some people who are with us this afternoon. I ask you to rise when I call your name and remain standing until all have been introduced. Please hold your applause until the end of all the introductions. On the platform, Mr. Darrell Horn, Chairman of the Board of Trustees. Dr. Eugene Sumner, Chair of the Academic Affairs Committee of the Board of Trustees. John Gainey, today's graduation speaker. Dr. Philip Kirksetter, President. Mr. David Bourgeois, Registrar. Seated in the audience, Ann Horn, wife of Darrell Horn. Mary Kirksetter, wife of Philip Kirksetter. Trustee Bob Carnegie. President Emeritus J. William Byrd. The family of our speaker, John Gainey. Francine L. Cooks, President of the Alumni Association, and her husband, Tommy. Members of the Executive Council. Billy Carnegie, University of Mount Olive Foundation Board. Bob Carnegie, I already said. Academic deans. Division chairs. Department chairs. Program chairs. The Director of Human Resources. Directors of Locations. The faculty. Now you can applaud. Thank you for being with us today. You may be seated. I now invite Dr. Philip Kirksetter, President of the University of Mount Olive, to introduce the commencement speaker.
It is important that we have commencement speakers who have important connections to our university, to our state, and to our faith. Therefore, I'm pleased to introduce our speaker today, Mr. John Gainey. As you know, or many of you know, we've continued to have discussions at Mount Olive about what the future has in store for you, our newest graduates, and for our future graduates. For we know that the career world that you are entering is very different than the career world that many of us have entered a variety of decades ago. Although we cannot know exactly what it will look like, we do know that it is unlikely that whatever career you start in will be the one that you stay in. We also know that those core academic skills of critical thinking, communication, problem solving, and creativity, that all the hallmarks of an education that is rooted in the liberal arts tradition, coupled with the values contained within our university covenant, will serve you well as you go forth. They will enable you to migrate to whatever opportunities will emerge in that future. And therefore, in so many ways, our commencement speaker, John Gainey, represents this shift in career focus, as well as the importance of those core values of this institution that have guided both his personal as well as his career paths. His belief in the importance of these core values were the basis of several conversations that he and I have had that led to his invitation to be our speaker today. John got his bachelor's degree from Mount Olive College and began his career in the field of insurance. Later, he migrated over to the field of education, which led him to a variety of responsibilities at different high schools and middle schools. He continues to remain active in his connections with both education and athletics. John, his wife Sandra, and their daughter Sydney reside in Winterville. And like many Carolinians, he enjoys spending time with his family and being outdoors, and especially on the water. Therefore, it is my distinct pleasure to present our commencement speaker, Mr. John Gainey.
I must say that a few hours ago when I sat in the convocation, that I saw a hat that really spoke home to me, and I don't know who the young lady was wearing that hat, but on it, and I had to write it on the palm of my hand because I didn't have a piece of paper handy. Woo, I did it. Now, there have been times in my life that I have felt like that myself, and I think my mother would attest to the fact that the times that she and my dad probably said, woo, he did it. So young lady, whoever you are, you have done it. And in a few hours, you will have proof of that when you return home. Dr. Kerstetter, trustees, faculty, and graduates, let me say how honored I am today to be here with you and to speak at this commencement exercise. For the past several weeks, I have often thought back to my days here, and I just look around and see the many changes that have taken place since those days. The new programs, the new buildings, especially the education program and the agribusiness program, and many other buildings and programs that go along with that. I realize that one of the best kept secrets in Eastern North Carolina is right here at the University of Mount Olive. But let me say, you need to let that secret spread like wildfire, because the University of Mount Olive is driving its stake not only in Eastern North Carolina, but in the Southeast region. And it is one of the best universities in the nation today, and has one of the best faculties in the country today serving right here. What makes today so important? Graduates, it is you. You have worked long and tirelessly to earn that degree that is important in order for you to become more successful in your lives. Today is also a day of importance because it signifies the third first. Now, for those of you that may wonder what I'm speaking of, let's go back in history. On May the 27th, 1955, Mount Olive College awarded its first degrees. Though they were clerical certificates, they still signified educational accomplishment. On May the 10th, 1986, the first baccalaureate degrees were awarded. And that was a momentous day in the history of this institution. Today is even a greater day. December 13th, 2014, this institution will award its first graduate degrees. Now, folks, that is a milestone. Graduates, you are making a mark in the history of this institution, a mark that will never be forgotten. So if you ever wonder, what impact did I maybe have on that institution? Well, you shouldn't have to look beyond this day to realize what you have done for yourself, for the institution, and for the world that we live in. Graduates, you owe a debt of gratitude to those who have stood beside you during this period of time. Thank God, first of all, who without none of this would have been possible. Thank your parents, if this applies to you, for standing beside you as a support factor and for offering contributions financially. I'm sure that in some form or fashion, your parents, if they're still living, have at least provided encouragement to you as you have worked towards your degree. Thank your family, especially those of you who are parents, and I've heard several people in the luncheon today talk about how their children had picked up responsibilities at home during their time of obtaining that MBA degree. Your spouse and your children have sacrificed as greatly as you have. They've been without your presence at such things as ball games, maybe school plays or recitals, and the list goes on. At other times, they have allowed you that necessary time to study and write that ever so important paper. They have made just as large of a sacrifice as you have. It would not go without saying that you need to thank those who serve as professors, administrators, and even trustees, as well as other supporters like all of those original Free Will Baptists who through the years have helped make this institution what it has become today, both financially and prayerfully. You need to show gratitude to your current president, Dr. Philip Kerstetter, your previous president, Dr. William Byrd, who understood the mission here at Mount Olive and have been able to guide and direct the university through many trials and changes. Today, I want to reflect on the life of one person who many of us owe much gratitude, the late Dr. W. Burkett Raper. As many of you have known, or many of you know, and as many of us have known through the years, Dr. Raper worked tirelessly, even after his retirement, almost until the time of his death, to see that this institution continue to grow and prosper and to prepare young men and women for the work, academically and spiritually, for the world that awaited them. Whether it was meeting with a faculty member, a student, to tell them that he thought that they deserved a scholarship because they had worked hard enough and had improved their GPA to deserve a little financial help. Maybe it was meeting with a trustee, or whether he was at various functions promoting the college and trying to garner finances for its future. He indeed worked tirelessly. He truly bled green and white, and his legacy is one of a fine Christian man and could be viewed as that of a true statesman. Today, I come to you as a graduate of Mount Olive myself, as well as being part of a family that has strongly supported the school, as well as making it part of our lives. Both my mother and my uncle attended here, and both of my grandparents served on the Board of Trustees at one time or another. My grandfather served on that first Board of Trustees, and my grandmother served from 1972 until her death in 1994, as well as did my uncle, who served in the early 2000s. Where do you go from here? First of all, remember where you came from and where you gain your strength. Philippians chapter 4, verse 16 speaks greatly to this. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Know that life is not always going to be easy, nor will it always be fair, but it is life, and it is a gift from God. I'm often reminded of a quote that I read a few years ago in bonesville.net, a publication that covers all aspects of East Carolina athletics. And this quote stuck with me. For some reason or another, it really stuck with me. The quote that I'm speaking of was made by former East Carolina head football coach Ed Emery, who served from 1980 to 1984. Ed was an East Carolina alum and played football at East Carolina during his years of college. He was well known for putting East Carolina in the national spotlight, with winning seasons of 7 and 8 games in 1982 and 1983, respectively. That 1983 team was special, as it played 3 major powerhouses, Florida, Florida State, and Miami. Though they lost these ball games, they only lost by a total of 13 points combined. And in games that could have gone either way, and I was reminded this week that these were last-minute situations that occurred. Ed Emery had become a household name around eastern North Carolina as well as around the rest of the state and around the pirate community for that matter. And it's because of the love that he had for that university, the love that he had for the football players that played for him. But on September 11th, 1984, his lifelong dream of being a head football coach ended because on that day, Ed learned that at the conclusion of that season, he would no longer be head football coach. Ed went on to say that when he thinks about that date, it has a whole different meaning to him than it made to you and I. And we all know what that date means to us. We all experienced it. In this particular interview, Ed talked about his college career, his collegiate career as a coach, after East Carolina going on to coach with his good friend Pepper Rogers, who was with the Memphis Showboats, a USFL team. But he made this following statement: life ain't always been fair to Ed Emery, but it sure has been good. After his collegiate career as a head coach at East Carolina, as I said, he went on to coach in the collegiate level, but a few years later, he returned to the high school ranks. He served a few years as a principal out in the western part of the state, I understand, before returning in the early 1990s to coach at Anson County High School. And then in the early 2000s, he was hired as head football coach at Richmond County, where he experienced stellar records at both schools. Ed learned how to overcome adversities in life. He learned to deal with the hand that was dealt to him in life, including a speech impediment that he had suffered from since his birth. Even after his coaching years ended and he was retired fully, Ed continued to serve his fellow man. He served as a town councilman for the town of Wadesboro, where he resided until his death almost 2 years ago. Life is not always going to be fair. It wasn't for Ed Emery. It hasn't always been for me. And it's not always been for you and will not always be for you. I want you to remember the words that were written by a lady by the name of Annie Flint Stone. God has not promised skies always blue, flower-strewn pathways all the way through. God has not promised sun without rain, peace without sorrow, joy without sorrow, peace without pain. But God has promised strength for the day, rest for the labor, light for the way, grace for the trials, help from above, unfailing sympathy, undying love. I read this poem almost every morning when I get up. Several Christmases ago, my mother gave each of her 3 sons a needlepoint of this poem. Later on, as we were talking about it, she reminded me that my granddaddy would use parts of this poem in his sermons from time to time. Now, granddaddy was a lifelong original Free Will Baptist. And he was an original Free Will Baptist minister until his death at the age of 92. His life centered around ministering to people. And I know of no person today that could give you a true perspective on life, its challenges, its trials, as well as the positive things that one could look for in life. Through the years as a minister, he counseled families, children, young and old, business people, farmers, and about anybody you could think of that might need advice or might just need somebody to listen to them. He was a good listener, no doubt about it. Now, he would have his input. You could rest assured of that. It has been told to me over the years that he was looked up to by many in the original Free Will Baptist denomination as a person of great wisdom. I think 2 Corinthians 12:9 probably sums up what we have just talked about. It says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. To me, this says that no matter the struggles and trials of life, God will get you through these things, and you will become stronger. Never compromise your name or your integrity, especially for the sake of progressing or for any other personal gain. I've seen this many times in my life, and the results were not positive. People were hurt, hearts were broken, and in some cases, reputations were strongly ruined. Nothing good will ever come from trying to undercut your fellow man. Last of all, always find someone that you can do something good for each and every day. We are put on this earth as servants of our fellow man. So often I'm reminded of this by my boss when I look at the many things he has done for so many in our community and his quiet way of doing it. You don't have to tell this. People will see it in you. Reflect back for just a moment with me to the story of Ed Emery. Through his trials, he continued to serve his fellow man, even when he might have had a reason not to want to. Serving our fellow man, regardless of the situation, is what we are called to do. In closing, I wish to use a quote of my late father, who served as a high school principal for 37 years of a 40-and-a-half-year career in public education. In a numerous Sun Journal interview prior to his retirement in June of 2000, and just days before he would officiate his last graduation ceremony, Daddy was asked about some of the greatest highlights of his career, and there were many of them. His reply was, watching those students walk across that stage and receive their diploma. Yes, he wanted to see his athletic teams do well. He wanted to see all areas of school life be successful. But in the end, academics were most important. Like Daddy, each year I attend graduation at J.H. Rose High School, where I teach driver's education. And I watch each of those graduates walk across that stage and receive their diploma. And literally I do. I watch every one of them. And I'm oftentimes reminded of another statement he made in that particular interview. They are turning one page in their life to another. Graduates, today, you're turning another page in your life, and you're entering the next chapter in the book of life. You've been equipped with the knowledge that is required in the world in which we live. And this degree that you receive today is as strong as any other degree granted worldwide. As you leave here today, be proud of your alma mater and what it stands for. As I leave you today, let me say congratulations to each of you for your accomplishments. May this university continue to grow and prosper. May God continue to bless it and all who support it. To each of you and your family, my family and I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Gainey, for your inspiring words. We are so pleased you were able to be here today to celebrate graduation. All of us are indebted to you for your many years of faithful service to the education for the citizens of North Carolina. Will the Board of Trustees President Darrell Horn and President Kirkstetter please join me for the conferral and awarding of degrees? Will the candidates for the Master of Business Administration degree please rise?
In recognition of your successful completion of the prescribed courses of study at the University of Mount Olive, upon the recommendation of the faculty, upon the approval of the Board of Trustees, and by virtue of the authority granted to the University of Mount Olive by the state of North Carolina, I hereby confer upon you the Master of Business Administration degree with all rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
You may be seated. Will the candidates for the Associate of Arts degree and the Associate of Science degree please rise?
In recognition of your successful completion of the prescribed course of study at the University of Mount Olive, upon the recommendation of the faculty, upon the approval of the Board of Trustees, and by the virtue of the authority granted to the University of Mount Olive by the state of North Carolina, I hereby confer upon you the Associate of Science, the Associate of Arts degree with all rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations. You still haven't done Associate of Applied. Go ahead.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree please rise?
In recognition of your successful completion of the prescribed courses of study at the University of Mount Olive, upon the recommendation of the faculty, upon the approval of the Board of Trustees, and by virtue of the authority granted to the University of Mount Olive by the state of North Carolina, I hereby confer upon you the Bachelor of Arts degree with all rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Applied Science please rise?
In recognition of your successful completion of the prescribed courses of study at the University of Mount Olive, upon the recommendation of the faculty, upon the approval of the Board of Trustees, and by virtue of the authority granted to the University of Mount Olive by the state of North Carolina, I hereby confer upon you the Bachelor of Applied Science degree with all rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree please rise?
In recognition of your successful completion of the prescribed courses of study at the University of Mount Olive, upon the recommendation of the faculty, upon the approval of the Board of Trustees, and by virtue of the authority granted to the University of Mount Olive by the state of North Carolina, I hereby confer upon you the Bachelor of Science degree with all rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
The names of the graduates who are unable to be here today are listed in the program, but they will not be read. They're graduating in absentia. Will Dean Presley of the Robert L. Tillman School of Business and Dean Hines of the School of Arts and Sciences please proceed to the podium to announce the candidates? Will the marshals please present the candidates? You will notice today cords, stoles, medallions, and hoods. Let me explain their meaning. The first part of cords are the Latin honor cords. They represent the overall grade point average of the student. The bronze cord is for cum laude. The student has to achieve a 3.7 GPA. The silver cord, magna cum laude, they have to achieve a 3.8 GPA. The gold cord is summa cum laude. They must have a 3.9 or above GPA. We also have honor cords in specific disciplines. The black and silver are Pi Lambda for education. The purple and gold are Delta Mu Delta for business. The green and red are Beta 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 for biology. Platinum and dark blue are Psi Chi for psychology. The white stoles represent nursing. The medallions represent they have achieved the honors program. The master's hood and tassel of drab color represent the discipline of business. The master's robe, today you will see, is black and it has square sleeves. Will Dr. Sumner please join me for the hooding of the Master of Business Administration degree graduates?
Susan Floyd Keynes. Marin Lanier Draper. Lindsay McPherson Granger. George Robert McDuffie. Karen Denise Price. Francisco Rivas Diaz. Tammy Wallace Scholler. Christina Michelle Valverde. Christopher Lee Wood. Alicia Nicole Woodall. Jessica Voss Yost.
Demetrius Deshaun Hill. Sarah Elizabeth Gazelle. Christopher Quinn Dunn. Brittany Lynn Howard, summa cum laude. Vanessa Michelle Anderson. Luis Jonathan Arellano. Chanel Brianna Alston. Marion Lynn Brody. Latoy Marie Bryant. Nikki Michelle Chandler, summa cum laude. Ryan Patrick Cummings. Mark Clement Sarsky. Caitlin Murphy Geeson. Rita Bellini Granados. Doriante R. Hines. Latanya Bond Jenkins. Meredith Ashley Keaton. Skylar Luzine Kelly. Kevin Harold Lee, magna cum laude. Winona Michelle Lowry. Taekwon Latre Leons. Kayla Danielle Meza. Catherine Marie Moore. Alejandra Anatiros. Antonia Quevano. Amy Elizabeth Randall. I will try. Okay. Charles A. Rapsafendrankata. Cum laude. Okay. Joy Razafendrakata. Cum laude. Luis Brand Bretano. Dylan M. Robinson. Joshua Richard Swartz. Hannah Elizabeth Singleton. Chandler Mason Smetana. Megan Greer Thompson. Tyler Allen Van de Deventer. Christopher James Weaver. Raven Mackenzie White. Jonathan Andrew Whitford.
Robert L. Tillman School of Business, Desmond James Adams. Jose Ricardo Banal. Yensi Caballero. Jacob Taylor Hancock. Chad Allen Hardy, magna cum laude. Liana Marie Harris. Mary Carol Jones. Kevin Jack Cornigi. Chelsea Nicole Millard. Johans Abraham Muhlman. Brandon Ray Oliver. Victoria Zay Petrocola. Georgia Nicole Puckett. Megan Ryan Reedy. James Emerson Rouse. Morgan Gabriella Springs. Joshua Thomas Wisniewski.
From our Seymour Johnson Air Force Base location, Michelle Ann Tucker. Ann Lynn Loving, magna cum laude.
Seymour Johnson, Tillman School of Business, Ryan Scott Cooper, cum laude. Jared Brock Thompson, magna cum laude. David Adolfo Carreras, magna cum laude. Tanya Lynn Ely. Keith Lamont Spivey.
School of Arts and Sciences in our New Bern location, Daniel David Rupp. Joshua Todd Smith. Storina Henry Bryant. Philip Montague Childry. Karen Elizabeth Fothergill. Demetria Bryant Howard.
New Bern location, Tillman School of Business, Tina Lewis Adkins. Rosalia Anita Davis. Rosalie Huffman Jones. Darius Dewan Lewis. Travis Curtis Lowe, magna cum laude. Dale Orlando Martin. Shirley Faye McCraw. Deandra Sherelle Meadows. Kevin D. Ross.
The Mount Olive Evening College, School of Arts and Sciences. Shelley Charisse Coleman. Wendy Parker Gutierrez. Carmen Rosa Hargrove. Daniel Lee Hawkins. Rita Shakitha Jones. Tira Kashan Jones. Jacqueline Powell Merritt. Jessica Elizabeth Parker. Candace Germaine Rorels. Lisa Marie Drolet, magna cum laude. Samantha Michelle Garner. Stacy Bernay Haywood. Mary Bass Horn. Craig D. Langdon. Ashley Nicole Lee. Pierre Terrell McClain. Rebecca Ann Pittman. Doris Murphy Smith. Felicia Durain Spate.
Mount Olive Evening College location, Tillman School of Business, Carleton, Ontario, Barnes. Ashley Megan Birch. Bonita Nickerson Carleton. Amanda Brittany Castles. Daniel Lee Davis. Andrea Elizabeth Eberhardt. Michael Charles Garner, Jr. Gail Jordan. Sarah Elizabeth Kessler. Virginia Brown Kuntz. Teresa Elizabeth Massengale, magna cum laude. Eric DeLon McDowell. Jennifer Lynn Meilinger. Sconsoray Arita Pate. Javon Mitchell Robinson. Melanie Rouse Smith, cum laude. Jacqueline Ann Vick. Farrah Lee Williams.
And from the School of Arts and Sciences in our Wilmington location, Christy Johnson Fuller. Rhonda Frank Marlowe. Yolanda Palmer. Shaquem Lawrence Stevens. Brian Wilson.
Wilmington location, Tillman School of Business. Margaret Ann Beecham. Tina Michelle Blanks. Maria Bryant Davis. Thank you. Deborah Joy Day. Gregory Wayne Hartz. Mikhail Brittany James. Teresa Lashley. Jermaine Aaron Major. Rachel Danielle Thomas. Gary L. Underwood.
And from our Research Triangle Park location, School of Arts and Science, Manang Daniels. Daniel Wesley Holt. Courtney Hayes Horn. Sandra R. Legat. Diem Lehang Naguen. Brittany Sierra Terrain. Kathleen Marie Voss. Jill Loretta Burnett. Cheryl Viola Hallman. Panchita Lavette Hege. Bridget M. James. Hanan Nijat. Latina Louise Perry. Ashley B. Schmidt. Janika Prabha Chetty, cum laude. Charlene Young.
Research Triangle Park location, Tillman School of Business. Grace Marie Bailey. Nadia Odessia Batts. Desiree Hargrove Brooks. Shalonda Danita Canaday Steele. Kimberly Evans Hedden. Mickey W. Johnson. Maria Charmaine Jones. Ruth A. Lawyer. Aaron Joy Marcinowski. Myra Jean McGee. Stacy Blackwell Penix. Joshua Adams Powell. Good name. Chad Anthony Presley, magna cum laude. Crystal Lynn Singletary, cum laude.
And from the School of Arts and Science, our Washington location, Elizabeth Ashley Edge. Mavette A. Parker. Samantha Cassidy Shields. Tawanda Lee Steinberg. Richard Laverne Williams. Montez Kenyon Bishop, magna cum laude. Julie Langley Bunn. Latorcia Harrell. Lily Ann Howard. Katrina Renina Ross. Renetta, okay.
Washington location, Tillman School of Business. Cynthia Yvonne Andrews. Reginald Earl Baker. Celestine Brown Best. Antonio Lamar Bryant. Rebecca Jane Fleming. Thank you. Lavetta Maria Grady. Mark Bruce Haddo Green. Sherry Lamb Hayward. Elizabeth Ann Knox.
From our Jacksonville location, School of Arts and Sciences, Erastus Ray Cardwell. Adelia Brock Davis. Beverly Daniels Williams. Carrie Denise Caldwell. Takesha Nicole Garibaldi. Mary Olivia Grammer. Amanda C. Hampton, summa cum laude. Cedric D. McDonald. Tista Marie Myers McNamara. Cynthia Katrina Hayjack, cum laude.
Jacksonville location, Tillman School of Business, Dorothy Rashonda Barrett. Almeda Deborah Benefield. Ashley Marie Bryan. Ronnie Norvell Dorn. Bianca Ara Marty Johnson, magna cum laude. Courtney Lynn O'Donnell. And Shannon Elizabeth Smith, cum laude.
We'll wait for the last couple to take their seat. Okay, we're near the end. Candidates. The turning of the tassel signifies that the class of December 2014 is beginning the journey of continued personal and academic exploration. You will be forever in the hearts of fellow university alumni, faculty, and staff. Please rise and join together as you move your tassels to the left. Congratulations. Okay, you may be seated. I now invite Francine Elks Cook, President of the Alumni Association, to come to the podium.
Congratulations, graduates, and welcome as the newest members of the University of Mount Olive alumni. This is truly an important event in your life, and you should be proud of the milestone you have achieved. Today, as you embark upon new careers and the challenges of the future, never forget your fellow alums, your friends, and the relationships you created while here at Mount Olive. The memories of this institution will forever live on in the days, weeks, and years to come. I would like to challenge you to actively participate in your Alumni Association for several reasons. First, to serve as a link between fellow classmates through social events and reunions. Second, to provide information and updates on the university. And last, by offering you an opportunity to give back financially to this institution so others may also benefit from a unique educational experience. Again, remember to cherish our heritage and remember the memories. Congratulations.
We ask that you remain in your seats out of respect for the graduates. They will be leaving the auditorium ahead of you. I now invite Dr. Kerstetter for closing remarks.
Allow me to take this moment to offer my personal congratulations to each and every one of you. I also want to congratulate your family and friends, for we know that what you have accomplished is because of the love, the support, the understanding, and the sacrifice of many others. I'm proud that you've chosen the University of Mount Olive and now are forever part of this very special academic community. And you have my very best wishes for your continued personal and professional success. So let your light shine forth so others can see the good things that you will continue to do. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the University of Mount Olive. Thank you.
In a moment, I will ask you to do the standing for the singing of the Alma Mater. It is followed by the benediction. But first, let me attend some final details. I wish to thank the marshals, the North Carolina Brass Ensemble, and the Commencement Committee for all of their hard work. Finally, in order that the recessional may proceed in an orderly fashion, please stay in your places until the graduates have cleared the hall. Then please join us for a reception inside the Murphy Regional Center that will follow this ceremony. We now will proceed with the singing of the Alma Mater. It will be led by Bailey Sutton, Morgan Springs, Raven White, Cullen Johnson, Jose Quintanilla, after which Reverend Carla Williamson, our campus chaplain, will offer the benediction. The words of the Alma Mater are printed in your program. I invite you all to stand.
Let us pray. Creator of the universe, make us explorers of the Spirit and pioneers in a new order of sisterhood and brotherhood and peace. Equip these graduates and all your people with justice and righteousness, with wisdom and courage, with compassion and mercy, that we might be the servants of your purposes upon this earth. Make us good enough, great enough, and strong enough for the age in which we live. Grant that goodness and mercy may follow us all our days, that we may abide with you forever. In your precious name we pray. Amen.